Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. This is my review for Fear the Walking Dead episode 4 titled The Key. Fear the Walking Dead has been absolutely brilliant this season and this episode does not let down the prior episodes whatsoever. This is a great Walking Dead universe episode. It really is. Garrett Dillahunt, who plays John Dory, this is a great performance. It really is. It's one of the top tier Walking Dead performances. He carries this episode. Not every actor would be able to, with the stuff that he has to do in this, the emotion that he shows, the heartbreak, the struggle, and he has some pretty good monologues in this as well. It's another amazing episode for The Walking Dead, and if this keeps up, this could be one of the greatest seasons, should I say, in the Walking Dead universe. And I rate this very highly, and I'm liking the direction that they're going. It seems like they have a plan. But as I said before, anthology episodes have never really worked in The Walking Dead, but it seems to be working now. And why is that? I think before it was just filler with no substance. Now it kind of is filler, but it has substance. It has something going on. It has a meaning. It has a direction, and it's brilliant. This is more like a murder episode than anything else. Like a CSI episode brought into this, but also this Western element is really brought in to season 6 very much. The Western genre seems to be completely dead in terms of being a success on TV, a TV show based around a Western or a movie. Those days are gone, but when these huge IPs bring those elements of a Western into their shows or movies, it seems to work. You look at Logan, the comic book movie from the X-Men franchise, that was more like a Western-themed comic book movie, and it worked. You look at The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, the Star Wars show. That's a Western, and it's really working. Fear the Walking Dead has got its team of Western, and it's working too. So fair play to the writers for that. But there's symbolism everywhere throughout this episode, and it really starts with John Dory, who has a rotten tooth. And the rotten tooth is supposed to symbolize this community that Virginia has. It's a rotten community. It's slowly rotting. As one of the characters said, it's spoiling everything. The rotten is spoiling everything in this community. It's not really a good place. Virginia seems to be, on the surface, a good leader, but she lies to her people. But then she gives people who do what she wants rewards. So she's a very hard person to read. John Dory is very much like Rick Grimes, former cop, but it seems to me that John Dory has brought his past life into this life as well. Rick, after a while, lost that sheriff persona. John Dory hasn't lost that yet. He wants to do the right thing, and you can tell that he was a pretty good cop. He wants to investigate everything very quickly, and in a way that everybody, not quickly I should say, but investigate it in a way where it's done right. And a murder takes place. Cameron is killed, and that's the character we get to see in the opening montage. He is watching guard at the gate, and him and Jory, they swap from the night shift to the day shift. And in that monologue we see each other. John Dory goes to his shift. Cameron isn't there. He goes looking for Cameron, and he finds Cameron being eaten by walkers, dead of course, up against a barbed wire fence. So he thinks there's more to it. Virginia tries to wash it off that he had a problem with his drink, but he wants to investigate. He finds an earring. We later find out that the earring belonged to Janie, and it looks like that Janie is the one that killed Cameron. But John doesn't want to believe this. He wants to investigate the murder even more. But Virginia is set in her mind and thinks that all the evidence points towards Janie, and she's convinced. And even Janie gives up. She later admits that it was her, maybe out of fear for Virginia, or maybe she just knows that Virginia isn't going to change her mind. She has said it to be her, and that's just the way it's going to be. John doesn't want her to give up. He tries to investigate, and then he's caught in turmoil. Does he let this girl die that he knows that's innocent? Or does he come up with a plan to break the two of them out and try and get away from this community, because this is Janie's only chance? So he goes through an internal battle in his head of what to do. But the thing about Janie is about Virginia, she has so much power. Face value, she seems to be a good leader. But there's a certain mystery about her. What is she trying to protect? What is she trying to gain? Why is she recruiting an army? What is the bigger picture? And there's loads of symbolism around the episode about the key, and a lot of this season is themed on the key. We got to see it with those two guys after episode 1 with the submarine. The bounty hunter had collected the key. Morgan now has the key. This community's flag is the key. You're rewarded as a higher class with kind of a key as well. So what does the key unlock in the submarine? The end is the beginning. That's the sentence that we've heard so many times. But what does that actually mean? So that's the certain mystery that this season is setting up, and it is very interesting. But there's a really good scene with John and Jacob. Jacob, of course, being a pastor, kind of the priest. John admits that his father was a cop, a good cop, but he knew there was a killer. He knew this guy was a killer, but there was no evidence to put him in jail. His father planted evidence in that guy's home so that he would be convicted. All the other cops knew, but they never looked at him the same, even though he was doing the right thing. So John is trying to think, what is the right thing? Is she a murderer? Is she actually the one who killed Cameron? And am I right if I break her out? So that's what he wants to do. Before she is executed, he wants to break her out. He goes to the jail cell. Janie's gone. And earlier on in the episode, Virginia told a graphic story about how they sacrificed somebody in another community, but they left them out, a person out, so that the walkers could eat them alive while music played from a radio. They're tied to a tree or something. So that's what Virginia does to Janie, hangs her from a tree. Walkers come with the music blaring and they eat her alive. John Dory finds her, half of her body, her lower limbs and her upper limbs, and it's completely graphic and honest. And then that sets John Dory on a rampage. He wants to go kill Virginia, and we get to see him. He's walking towards Virginia to kill her. Strand comes out, Jacob comes out. Jacob knew what Virginia was doing with Janie. Strand knew as well. So they went behind his back, knowing that he was going to try and break her out and get her away from this community. And the execution was moved up, so John couldn't get her away. So what is Strand's bigger picture? The two of them have a fight, pretty good fight. But did Strand kill Cameron for Virginia? What is his bigger picture here? That's what I'm trying to understand. But this episode overall is another top tier episode for Fear the Walking Dead this season. Absolutely brilliant. The tooth element, the rotten tooth, was about the community being rotten. And at the end of the episode, John Dory pulled out his own tooth. Is that to symbolise that he has pulled out, or that he will pull out the toxic environment that is in this community? Will he pull out the disease that's in this community? What's he going to do? I don't think this is over between him and Virginia. I think he's out to kill Virginia and maybe Strand as well, because Janie should have never died. And that's what the symbolism of his rotten tooth is. Great episode, but it wasn't over there. The end of the episode, we get Morgan driving in the bounty hunter's car with the dog, and the two of them seem to be happy as Larry, but then a car crashes into them. And who is it? It's the two guys from episode 1 from the submarine who are looking for the key. They want the key from Morgan. They try and fight. They're going to kill Morgan for this key. Morgan, of course, is too skilled for this. He has the axe, cuts one of them open, then cuts the other guy open and kills the two of them. And the question that Morgan asks is, what do you open, looking at the key? This is a great episode. The pacing is brilliant. The character development is brilliant. The substance is there with this season so far that really makes it interesting and engaging as an audience. And I definitely can't wait for episode 5 and 6. This season has really surprised me because I've heard so many bad things about Fear the Walking Dead as a show, even though I haven't caught up in season 2, 3, 4 or 5. I just wanted to watch season 6 because I heard the great reviews and I'm loving it so far. So how much more would I love it if I had known these characters for 2 or 3 seasons and all their backstories and stuff? I don't even know that at this stage, but I'm already falling in love with this season and these characters and the writing that is being shown. With the way Fear is going and the way that it's licensed towards Amazon internationally, Fear the Walking Dead could go on for a very long time. It could reach 10 seasons. It could reach 11 seasons. If this reviews keep up, Fear the Walking Dead could be a big success for AMC and continue for many more years, whatever their plan is. But the episode 4, The Key, is probably my second favourite episode of this season, right behind number 1 that had Morgan, the bounty hunter episode. But guys, let me know in the comments below what you thought of Fear the Walking Dead episode 4. Have you been liking this season? I've been loving it. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what your favourite part of this episode was. What did you think of the murder kind of investigation that was going on, the mystery, and what do you think that key unlocks? I'll see you next time, guys, for another The Walking Dead review.